Once, in a city made of starlight and old memories, there lived a weaver who didn't work with wool or silk, but with the invisible threads of human experiences. People from all over the world would travel to his small, quiet shop to have their life tapestry repaired. They would bring him their golden threads of joy, their silver threads of success, and their heavy, dark threads of sorrow. We often look at our lives and see only the tangled knots, the frayed edges, and the colors that seem to clash. We wonder why a certain dark thread was woven into our story, or why a golden thread we loved so much was suddenly cut short. In our journey today, we step into the weaver's workshop. We are going to explore the profound truth that every single thread, the bright and the dark, the smooth and the rough, is essential to the final masterpiece. We often spend our lives trying to pull out the threads we don't like, not realizing that the entire fabric would unravel without them. This story is for anyone who has ever looked at their life and felt like it was a mess of loose ends. It is an invitation to see your story through the eyes of the weaver, where nothing is wasted and everything, eventually, makes sense. Are you ready to see the pattern of your own soul? A young man once came to the weaver, crying as he held a cluster of black and gray threads. "Please," the young man begged, "take these out of my tapestry. They are ugly. They represent my failures, my losses, and the times I felt broken. I only want the gold and the bright blue." The weaver smiled kindly and sat the young man down. "If I take away the shadows," the weaver said, "the light would have no place to rest. You cannot see the stars without the darkness of the sky, and you cannot appreciate the strength of the gold without the contrast of the gray. We spend so much of our energy trying to edit our pasts, trying to hide the parts of us that felt like defeat. But in the weaver's eyes, the dark threads are the strongest ones. They are the ones that give the tapestry its depth and its soul. Without the sorrow, your compassion would be shallow. Without the failure, your wisdom would be empty. Every no you received, every heartbreak you endured, was a thread being carefully placed to hold the weight of the joy that was coming. The beauty of your life is not in the absence of pain, but in the way the pain is woven into something more beautiful than you could have imagined. Trust the dark threads. They are holding the rest of your story together. As the weaver worked, the young man noticed that some threads didn't just run straight. They were tied in complex, difficult knots. "What about those?" he asked. "They look like mistakes." The weaver shook his head. "Those are not mistakes," he replied. "Those are the places where your life touched another life. Those are the knots of connection, of family, of love, of difficult friendships, and of strangers who changed your path." We often think of our lives as solo projects, but the weaver knows we are all part of one massive, interconnected web. Sometimes, a thread from someone else's tapestry crosses into yours, creating a knot that feels confusing or painful at first. You might wonder why that person entered your life only to leave it, or why a relationship left such a complicated mark, but every knot strengthens the fabric. Every connection teaches you something about the breadth of the human heart. You are not just a single thread, you are a part of a collective masterpiece. The knots are the evidence that you were brave enough to be known and brave enough to love. In the final design, those knots will be the most colorful and vibrant parts of all. The most frustrating part for the young man was that he couldn't see the whole picture. He could only see the small section the weaver was working on at that moment. "How do I know if it's going to be beautiful?" he asked. "It looks like a mess from here." The weaver laughed softly. "That is because you are looking at the back of the tapestry," he said. "From your side, you see the loose ends, the tangled knots, and the uneven lines. But from my side, the side of the divine, the image is already perfect. This is the great challenge of being human. We live our lives from the back of the tapestry. We see the messy underside of reality. We see the confusion and the chaos, and we worry that there is no plan. But spirituality is the act of trusting the weaver, even when we cannot see the pattern. It is the faith that there is an other side, where every loose end is tied and every color finds its purpose. You are currently in the middle of your story. You are a work in progress. Do not judge the final masterpiece by the chaos of the middle. The weaver is not finished with you yet, and the design he has in mind is more glorious than you have the capacity to dream. Finally, the weaver handed the young man a small golden needle. Now, he said, you have seen how I work, but you are not just a spectator in your own life. You are a co-creator. Every day, with your choices, your kindness, and your reactions, you choose which thread to pull through the fabric next. This is the ultimate lesson of the weaver. While we cannot always control which threads are given to us, the sorrows we inherit, or the challenges we face, we always have the power to decide how we weave them into the rest of our story. As you go back into the world, remember that your life is a sacred work of art. Do not be ashamed of your dark threads, and do not be afraid of your complex knots. Wear your tapestry with pride, for it is a story that only you can tell. You are a masterwork in the making, woven with love, purpose, and infinite grace. Thank you for sharing this story of the soul with me. May you find the courage to trust the pattern and the wisdom to weave with joy. Until next time, stay calm, stay connected, and live deeply.